That's old man notebook. Pretty sure it's an old man's notebook.
Brother, I have the best gift for you.
Should I have this much talking?
Oh, miss, you'll be excited when what's goodies I brought you.
You got homework assignments for me?
Yeah,
Good.
got 5 of them.
Oh, even better.
Can I not?
And they're gonna make me have to do homework. Why is that thing so frozen? I'm sorry, guys. Should have said something. Could have sworn I hadn't frozen.
Oh,
I was in mechanical pencil, I don't like glitter pencils.
Yes.
oh yeah.
I don't like glitter pencils. Yeah, anyways, let's do the glitter pencils.
Can I get my notebook from my locker? Is there glue together? Did you drive that? If you want more. Why don't you already have it? I should have it like my sister used it because she didn't notice for her homework. And it turns out she was doing something wrong. It is strong, dude.
Alright, so what we are doing today is we are doing equations with variables on both sides. Your essential question is how are equations and inequalities used to describe and solve multi-step problems? The reason I went ahead and put that in because I think it's after this lesson. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, sometime this week, probably tomorrow, we're going to be working with inequalities. There is no new vocab. Okay? In fact, all I'm going to do is take the equations we've been working with and add just a little bit to it.
Just a variable.
Yeah, just a variable on the other side. So, here's how we're going to solve it. Let's see. For example, you guys have been doing problems that had like an x plus 8 equals 3, right?
Mhm.
You've even done like 2x plus 8 equals 3. Well, now we're going to put 3x equals x plus 8. Okay? Huh? Right?
3
Now, what's the biggest difference on this between now and what we've done in the past?
variables
Variables on both sides. So what's the first thing I have you guys do? Draw the river. I'm still going to have you guys draw the river. So we go ahead and we draw that river. And then what is the question I ask you?
Which is the variable one?
What's the answer?
Both.
And both. Is that what we want?
No.
What side do you want the variable on?
Left.
You want it on the left. So this is actually going to be very easy. You have a variable on the right, right?
Yeah.
Correct? How many x's do you have on the right hand side?
1.
So let's take off 1 from the right hand side. And our rule is what you do to the
Right.
You also do to the left. Oh man, are you paying attention? So if we subtract 1x from the right hand side, guess what we do to the left? 3x.
That'd be 2x now, right? We're going to divide it. I'm not going to talk over you guys.
And just like you guys realize I have a YouTube channel just for notes, your parents are going to realize that too. Your parents know your voices. They will know when you are the one acting up.
Wait, you're not recording?
Yes. Every day I have to record because somebody's gone, plus Alan's not in the pre-algebra class yet.
Hey, Mom, this is me.
So that is 2x equals, well, since the variables cancel out, we have 8. Now it's a one-step equation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but plus 8 is the same as positive 8, so we can just put 8. Where's the variable? Is it by itself?
Yes.
No, there's 2x. Omen and Alberto, you will have to stay after school if you guys can't focus. And I think it's one distracting the other. So what operation do you see? Multiplication. What's the inverse? What are we going to divide by?
2.
So that means x equals
4.
That's just it. That's what I love about equations. Is I'm only going to add one step at a time. Once I get you guys going, it's one thing different every day. Just one more step. So what are we going to do now?
It's really easy.
Good. What are we going to do now?
Check.
We are going to check. How do we check this?
Write it as I was. How do you know what side to start on first, though?
What do you mean what side to start on?
You know, this is X on one side and the 3x on the other side?
That's why I asked you what side did you want it on?
Never.
You want it on the left and take off from the right. So it can move over to the left. Okay, so what does x have to change into?
4. Okay. It's basically 12 equals 12. That's the answer.
How'd you get 12 equals 12?
Because 4 plus 8 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. That's 12 equals 12. Make a good job. Wow. What a god you are.
Okay, you guys want to try another one?
Yeah. You can add fractions now.
3. What are you going to do with this?
Do what we did in the last one. Let's try to do
What do I want to see first?
River.
Draw that river. What's the question I asked?
Which side is the variable on?
What side is that variable on?
Both.
They're on both.
On the
What side do you want it on?
left.
If you want it on the left, then which one should we look at? The right to take it off. So you subtract 5x from both sides. What's 7x minus 5x?
2x.
Equals
4.
why do we division by 2?
Because you guys get rid of that 2.
So what is our solution?
X equals
We want
2.
to look on mine.
Do the check on this one. Solve the check. Let's go.
So I just put it on mine.
So the check that's a lot of things.
Is it right?
My binder.
We got to do the check.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking it now.
I did it.
Once you're done with this one, go to the student page.
You probably check my.
Max, give me just a minute. I'm going to get them going, and then I'll bring mine back there so you can talk, okay? On the student page, I want you to solve from the very beginning. This one's going to be a little bit different, a little bit more difficult. Why? Because the single variable's on the right-hand side. Try it. Yeah, if you want to flip them, you can. Huh?
Do you have to check it too?
Yes. You decide. There's actually several different ways to do this. Do whatever you think, and I will help you with whichever way you want to go. For example, one said, can we flip that? Can we put x equals 3x minus 2? Yes. Could you also subtract 1x from both sides? If you subtract x minus x, what do you get?
X. I got my answer.
0. So you could have x minus x is 0.
Oh, X equals 1 only. I just gotta check it a bit.
Oh, then check it.
What is this? Did you get
The negative 2 equals negative 2.
Okay, not subtract it. X, and then we'll let do not. Right? No.
So is this right?
X on both sides?
How about we add a 2?
Okay, subtract 1x.
Is that right?
Plus a 2?
No?
We had 2 from both sides. That would be good.
Do you actually subtract it? Try to get 2.
Because it's
Negative
0
add 2.
right now.
Is that what it is?
How? X equals 1. X equals 1. X equals 1.
You guys are on it. No.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. You cannot subtract one. Where's your variable at? 2 equals 2. Where's your variable at? Get out and just forget. What's the inverse? What are you going to add? What are you going to add?
Miss, did they get it right?
How did you?
Oh,
So X taken away 3.
That's right.
Right? Negative 1 equals negative X.
Oh my god. I know it now.
I don't know. I don't see a check.
Oh wait, yeah, there has to be a check.
Check. Oh, and Anthony, you were wrong just because you didn't have a check. You were wrong because you were wrong. All right, guys. What's the first thing you should do?
River.
Draw a river. Now, I want you guys paying attention. What you could do is you can subtract x from both sides. What is 3x minus 1x?
2x.
Have you touched the subtract 2?
No.
So bring it down. What is x minus x?
0.
0. Now, where is your variable?
On the left.
What operation do you see?
Subtraction.
What's the inverse?
Addition.
So add 2 to both sides. These can cancel out, and you have 2x equals 2. Is the variable by itself? I don't have everyone paying attention.
No.
Omen, that's causing more of a distraction than you are working.
No.
What operation do you see?
Multiplying.
Multiplication. What's the inverse?
Division.
What do we divide by?
Oh, I got it exactly right. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I should.
Where are my pencil?
You could have also decided to change this around. You could have decided to flip it and say x equals 3x minus 2. If you had done that, you would subtract 3x from both sides.
You get negative 2x.
Negative 2x equals a negative 2. Then what?
You divide
By a negative 2.
Yay.
Divide by a negative 2 would have been 1x equals 1.
Oh my God,
It didn't matter which way you went. Okay?
oh my God.
Back to the teacher page.
Now that's a lot of damage. Yikes! That's a lot of damage.
Good.
That's a lot of damage.
You want me to add more to it?
No. It's kind of easy. It's kind of hard.
So what's the first thing I ask you guys to do?
River.
Put your river.
Which side is it on?
What side is your variable on?
Oh.
So what side do you want it on?
Left.
On the left. So should we take away 6/5 y or 4/5 y?
4/5 y.
Subtract a 4/5 y from both sides. Now you guys got lucky on this one.
Oh.
Do they have a common denominator?
Yeah.
So what's 6 minus 4? Now it's this two-step equation. What side is your variable on? What operation do you see?
Addition.
What's the inverse?
Multiplication.
What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. What are we going to subtract?
8.
From both sides. So we now have 2/5 y equals what?
Negative 18.
Is a variable by itself?
No.
What do you see?
Multiplication.
I would go with multiplication or division. Now fractions, here's the thing. I do mine differently than some of yours. Some of you guys make a complex fraction and solve it that way. That's great. Go ahead and do that. Personally, I'm just going to reciprocal the fraction. Because this will cancel out to a 1. Y equals 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 18 9 times. Negative 9 times 5 is a negative 45.
Trippy, bro.
Is ready for another problem?
Yeah.
On your student page. You're going to say the problem out loudly. You still have classmates writing. So you're going to have a 2 decimal 1 x
Decimal 1 x.
plus 3 equals 3 decimal 1 x
3 decimal 1.
minus 2.
That's like, lots of it uses all the same numbers.
That's fine.
You can't just say. Two decimal one x plus 3 equals 3 decimal 1 x minus 2.
Solve it and check it.
Bro. It's nice.
Oh, there it is.
Bro. Can't find it. Over there.
Check, ready? Right side. Negative, minus, negative. Where is it? And I got it. I got negative.
This
Because you get rid of the negative, that might negative 2. Negative 1. So x is how do you do the divide on both sides?
You done? You're not even close to done. Let's go. Your x is on both sides, right?
Oh, you got it on.
Subtract 1 over 2.
Would it be the multiplication? The division?
Cancel this, we're not ready. It's like check.
Oh, yeah, that's what you did wrong.
You're subtracting these.
I did that before. Subtracting?
Yes.
But it's not.
Okay, guys, I get it. You see that as 2.1 times x, but you're not going to divide yet. Do not divide until all of your variables are to one side. So you subtract either 2.1x or you subtract 3.1x, but you're subtracting then to get it to one side.
So x equals 0.
No, x does not equal 0.
X equals negative 5.
No, it does not.
Negative 4.
What's the first thing you do? River. Draw your river.
No, x equals
Now.
5.
Watch. Either you know it and you're great, or you don't know it, which means you need to focus and pay attention, please. I have variables on both sides. The first thing I do is I say I want to take away, which means subtract, a 3.1x. I am going to subtract that from both sides. So that way the 3.1 just completely goes away. 2.1 minus 3.1 is a negative 1x plus 3 equals negative 2. Now it's a two-step equation. I see addition. I am going to subtract by 3. Also, these 3 can disappear. Negative 1x equals same sign, you add them, 2 plus 3 is 5, and you keep the sign, a negative. It looks like the variable's alone, but it's not. It's a negative one. So the last step is to divide by negative 1. Divide by negative 1. All day today, my division has not happened until the very last thing. We always get the variables together before you try to divide. Okay? Let's try another one.
I knew it was wrong.
But your work has to match that answer.
It did. You guys. Again.
You have at least 2 problems up there to solve. Ullman, covering your eyes is not solving.
So it's finished.
You need to be solving. I don't see you solving.
I already know what it is. I already know the answer. I have one here. No straight. I got this, and I showed you 10. I did something. It's a one. It's basically a 2-step. Found it easy to
You want to take that? I've got 3 seconds.
But I already did.
Did you show me an answer? Good. There's a second problem.
I know, but I don't have the space to do it.
So try that out.
Nah, I should have a little bit of space. And okay, this should be. What? What's a tandoori chicken? That's wrong or what? But he still wrong. I don't understand that. Let me see. Let me see your flexing. Oh, I want to do it. I want to make it. I placed before. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta type it. Yeah, it's a typo. Yeah, oh wow, I know. That's probably one I can. Remember my favorite one? Y equals negative A. No, you lost it.
Okay, if I have checked both those answers, you may log on and find your homework.
Yeah.
Yay!
I'm going
Let's go.
One minute.
Let's go.